Hey everybody. So I took a little bit of a break. I had some things to do. And what I want to mention here is it's okay to take breaks from this work. You just have to budget the time to do so. When it comes to data science projects, as well as computer programming languages, when you're developing some software or working an algorithm into some Python code, and you have to take a step back, that could actually be healthy for you. Can't tell you how many times that has happened to me where I've just gotten frustrated with the work. The data wasn't speaking to me in the right way, and I just had to take a step back. Or when I do projects for game companies, computer programming, game engine development, when I do that kind of work, sometimes I get frustrated because something's not working. So I do what's called the brute force method. So again, brute force method, where you just get the idea implemented. It doesn't matter how much finesse or how clever you are. People in our industry are just so full of trying to be clever and sound smart and savvy. And at the end of the day, it's the business objective that you need to solve. The business leaders aren't going to care what kind of beautiful script or how well you wrote your for loops and if statements and switch statements and all that stuff. They're not going to care. That's for you so that you know how to do the work. You can do it better next time, quicker, leaner, etc. But at the end of the day, you have to solve the business objective. Okay? And sometimes taking a step back can clear your mind and all that stuff, but you got to budget that time. So we're back now. And what I want to approach is I want to start doing a couple of statistical measures. I want to start looking at some of the data and what it means. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I have some unique variables in here. What I mean by that is I want to break out this pricing a little bit. I want to look at the, let's just say, histogram of it. I want to look at the formation of the data. I want to see what the distribution is. So I'm going to do a price here. I'm going to do a time. I'm going to do a distance one. But this date one, as I mentioned earlier, I want to break this out by month and year. Okay? Because as you saw before, we do have different years in here. Now, I highly suspect that this is 2023, that we're not going to have a lot of data in here. But I don't know. I don't know. One way you can quickly find out is check mark all of the 2023, see how many rows you get. And I get just over 6,000 out of the 270,000. So that's expected. That's been expected. But what's interesting here and what makes me believe that this data set is more along the lines of fictitious, or the idea that it's used for job interviews and things like that, is that we have dates in here that aren't even existing yet. Now, one person could argue maybe those are purchases for future dates. Okay, great. Why then is there only 6,000? Why wouldn't I expect more for the month of February or March, etc.? So I tend to believe that this data set has been crafted to do job interviews or to test candidates, etc. So that was said, it doesn't reduce the impact of this video. So I don't want you to think, oh, well, he's using fake data. Well, no, it's a realistic environment. You don't know what the data is. You don't know what it looks like. It's perfect for this. Okay. So what we're going to do is the month function here, and we're going to simply go over to the date, and it's going to bring back between 1 and 12. Now, one thing I want to show you here, remember what I said before, this is all live, this is all as we experience it. Look what I did. I forgot to unfilter that date column. That happens to so many students. It just happened to me. So what that means is watch what happens. I did this formula, right? But watch what happens when I uncheck mark that. Where did it all go? Well, actually, it went all the way down throughout the data set. Can't really see it because it's too far in between. But essentially what happened here is because I didn't uncheck that, I need to do my formula all over again so that it takes in all the data. Okay, so there, I've got it now. If you want to know how to do that super fast, that's not the purpose of this video, but basically shift control down after you've copied your formula, then you paste it, and it pastes into all of the cells that you have highlighted. Shift control down. And I went right to the bottom of the data set where the first value is. So that's a dangerous thing because watch what happens next. I go all the way down and it goes down to row 1193. That's because I have a data point here already and Excel thinks, oh, that's the end of the list. No. So Be very careful with your Excel work. When you start running into problems like that, that's where students start making mistakes because they think they did everything right, but because of that stupid little filter that I had active, it messed up the data set. So what I did was I brute force methoded. I went here, went all the way down manually, and I pasted all the way down instead of trying to use some shortcut like the shift control down. Okay. So we'll do the same thing for year, and this one will look very similar. Year is the function. We go over here, and so we have 2019. Now, if I double click this, it will go all the way down this time because I didn't have any data in this column. So it worked out for us. Now, as I said before, I like to copy, paste, special value this stuff. So I copied it, right click, paste special, and go to value. And now I don't have formulas. So if I delete this, I don't lose this data. Watch what happens if I had kept that formula in there and I delete this now. I get reference errors all over the place. That is not what you want to have happen.